What do you think is the most powerful force in this world? Is it an earthquake that tears the ground apart? Is it the blast of a bomb that flattens a city? Or is it the thunderous roar of a lion king? We are often obsessed with things that are loud, massive, and violent. We believe that to change a big problem, we need a giant impact. To move a mountain, we think we need dynamite. To change a person, we think we need a traumatic event. But do you know what carved the majestic Grand Canyon? Not hammers, not bombs. It was created by a soft stream of water, flowing gently day after day. True power does not lie in the punch. True power lies in repetition. Tonight, come with me to a place called Shadow Valley, a village imprisoned in darkness for 300 years by a colossal mountain. There, the strongest men failed. The most powerful explosives fell silent. Only a frail boy named Milo, with his only weapon being a whisper repeated every single sunrise, achieved the impossible. This story will prove to you that water wears away stone, and that steady gentleness can shake the very earth. Shadow Valley lay tucked beneath the feet of the mountain range known as Titan. Titan was not just a mountain, it was a black fortress wall rising to touch the clouds, completely blocking the east. Because of this, the village never saw the sunrise. Light only reached them at noon, weak and fleeting, before quickly dying out as the sun set in the west. The people here were pale. The trees were stunted and thin. They lived in gloom. They craved the honey gold light of the morning sun. But Titan stood there coldly, like a selfish giant swallowing all hope. The village chief, a burly man named Boar, once swore to destroy the mountain. He mobilized every strong young man. They used sledgehammers, crowbars, and iron chisels. Clang, clang, smash. For 10 long years, the sound of metal striking stone echoed through the valley. But Titan was made of black granite, the hardest rock on earth. The hammer handles broke. The chisel tips dulled. After 10 years, they had only made a tiny scratch on the mountain's foot. In frustration, they turned to explosives. Boom! Dust and smoke blinded the air. The ground shook. But when the smoke cleared, Titan still stood there, towering and arrogant. The explosion even caused an avalanche that nearly buried the village. From then on, the people of Shadow Valley accepted their fate. They told each other, "Do not anger Titan anymore. Our destiny is to live in the dark." The mountain became a terrifying god, a symbol of the impossible. In that despairing village, there was a boy named Milo. Milo was 7 years old, tiny, and often sick from the lack of sunlight. His voice was very soft, sometimes no louder than a passing breeze. Milo was not afraid of Titan. He felt that the mountain was very lonely. He thought, "Everyone hits it, chisels it, explodes it. No one talks to it." One early morning, while the whole village was still buried in the cold sleep, Milo wrapped himself in an old wool scarf and walked to the foot of the mountain. He stood before the vertical cliff, towering and pitch black. He placed his tiny, warm hand on the cold rock face. He took a breath and whispered, "Hello, friend Titan. I am Milo. Could you please scooch over to the right just a little bit? Just a little, so my mother's sunflowers can bloom." Of course, the mountain did not answer. Only the wind whistled through the crevices. But Milo was not sad. He smiled and patted the rock gently. "I will come back tomorrow." And so, a strange ritual began. Every single day, through rain, snow, or storm, exactly at the moment before the sun was supposed to rise, Milo was there at the foot of the mountain. He placed his hand on the exact same spot, a tiny crack the size of a pinky finger. He whispered the exact same sentence. "Please open your heart. The light wants to come in." At first, no one noticed, but then people started to wonder. Where does Milo go every morning? When they found out Milo was talking to the mountain to ask it to move, the whole village burst into laughter. The stone masons, the ones who had failed with their sledgehammers, laughed the loudest. "Look at that! An ant trying to push an elephant!" Chief Boar mocked. "Hey kid, are you trying to blow the rocks away with your breath? Even dynamite didn't work. What do you think your whispers will do?" The village children threw dirt at Milo, calling him Mad Milo. Milo's mother was ashamed. She dragged him home, scolding him. "Stop making a fool of yourself. The mountain is a dead thing. It has no ears." Milo looked at his mother, his eyes clear and bright. "Mom, water is soft too, but water cuts through rock. Wind has no shape, but wind bends trees. I believe words have weight too," Milo continued. 1 year passed. 365 whispers. 5 years passed. 1,825 whispers. 10 years passed. 3,650 whispers. Milo was now a 17-year-old young man. He was still thin, but his gaze was steadier than iron. The villagers had grown tired of mocking him. They considered him part of the scenery, a harmless madman mumbling to the cliff every morning. No one noticed the change. No one, except Milo. Why was Milo so persistent? Because he felt something no one else saw. In the 3rd year, when Milo whispered into the crack, he felt a slight vibration. In the 7th year, he saw the crack had widened by a millimeter. In the 10th year, he heard an echo from deep within the mountain's core. Not an echo of sound, but an echo of resonance. Science calls it resonance. Every object has its own natural frequency. If you apply a very small force, but at the right frequency and repeat it continuously, energy accumulates. Just like an army marching in step can collapse a bridge. Milo's whispering voice, day after day, had created a vibration frequency that traveled deep into the crystal structure of the granite. Furthermore, the warmth from his hand and his warm breath blowing into the crack every freezing morning created microscopic thermal expansion. Hot, cold, hot, cold, thousands of times. The bonds of the stone began to tire. Milo did not use muscle power. He used the power of time and consistency. The morning of the 4,000th day. Milo went to the foot of the mountain as usual. It was freezing today. Frost covered everything in white. Milo, now a grown man, placed his calloused hand on the crack, which was now the size of a hand. He leaned his mouth close, whispering for the last time, "I know you are ready. Let the light in, Titan." As soon as he finished speaking, a strange sound rang out. Crack. It wasn't loud like a bomb, but sharp and crisp like breaking glass. It started from the crack where Milo's hand rested. The fracture ran upward like a lightning snake. It raced all the way to the mountain peak, splitting the massive rock face. The ground beneath Milo's feet trembled slightly. Then a rumble. Rumble. Boom. Echoed from deep underground. The entire village of Shadow Valley woke up, running out in panic. "Earthquake, run!" Chief Boar screamed. But no one could run in time. They stood rooted to the spot, witnessing the most majestic sight of their lives. A massive section of Mount Titan, the slab blocking the exact east, slowly separated. It didn't explode. It slid. It slid down smoothly, obeying gravity, like a giant door opening. The million-ton slab crashed into the empty valley beside it, creating a storm of dust. And then, the dust settled. For the first time in 300 years, a blinding golden beam of sunlight pierced straight through the gap the rock had left behind. The beam shot straight into the middle of the village square. It shone on the stunned face of Chief Boar. It shone on the withered sunflowers, waking them up. And it shone on Milo, standing tiny at the foot of the mountain, covered in white dust, but his face radiant like a god. The mountain was not destroyed. It had just moved. It had stepped aside. Not because of a sledgehammer, but because it had been persuaded by 4,000 days of persistence. The villagers rushed forward, falling to their knees and weeping in the sunlight. They hugged each other, bathing in the warmth they thought only existed in fairy tales. They ran to hoist Milo onto their shoulders. "How did you do it? What magic did you use?" everyone asked. Milo smiled, his voice still as soft as the breeze. "I didn't do anything. I just asked it every day. And I never gave up." My dear friend, the story of Milo and Titan has ended, but the mountain in your life is still standing there. We all have mountains blocking our sun, a bad habit that is hard to break, a massive project that seems impossible, a broken relationship that feels as cold as stone. We often get discouraged because we try using dynamite once and fail. We work furiously for a week, then quit when we don't see results. We want miracles to happen instantly. But Milo teaches us that miracles are not events. Miracles are a process. The greatest power lies not in intensity, but in discipline. One page of a book a day creates a wise mind. One step a run a day creates a marathon runner. One word of love a day heals a broken marriage. Do not despise your whisper. Do not despise the small actions you do in the dark when no one is watching. Those tiny drops of water, over time, will gather the strength of an ocean to carve through mountains. If today you feel small before a giant difficulty, do not be afraid. Just keep going. Place your hand on it. Whisper to it. And come back tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow. One day, you will hear the crack of destiny, and the light will flood in. Thank you for listening. Wishing you a peaceful night and enough patience to move your own mountain.